Have you ever wondered why certain emotional patterns seem to follow you, especially when it comes to worth, pleasure, or feeling secure? If you have a Taurus moon in your birth chart, you might find yourself wrestling with these very themes. In this video, we'll explore how the challenges you face are actually powerful catalysts, helping you step into your fullest potential. Your Taurus moon naturally knows how to create lasting value, experience deep pleasure, and maintain unwavering stability. This isn't just astrological theory, it's a tangible power you were born with. But this potential is so significant that it sometimes requires equally powerful catalysts to fully activate it. Enter afflictions, experiences of starvation, shame, and agitation, implemented in your chart as sophisticated tools your soul is using to carve out its fullest expression. Each struggle with having enough, each moment of questioning your worth, each instance of restless dissatisfaction is deliberately designed to push you toward a profound realization of your inherent power. I'm not here to offer spiritual platitudes or tell you your pain isn't real. Instead, I want to show you exactly how these challenging patterns are working in your favor, pushing you toward a form of mastery that few ever achieve. These patterns reveal themselves through three distinct forms of initiation, each one designed to awaken a specific aspect of your power. Together, they create a sophisticated system of transformation that leaves no stone unturned in the process of unveiling your full potential. When starvation appears in your chart, it's not a punishment. It's a precise tool designed to teach you about true abundance. Those nights lying awake worrying about resources, that deep fear of never having enough, the constant conservation of your energy, these aren't accidents. They're experiences carefully calibrated to push you beyond superficial understanding of value into something far more profound. Shame emerges as your next great teacher. Those moments of feeling fundamentally wrong in your existence, of questioning your right to pleasure, of doubting your inherent worth, they're actually doorways. Your soul chose this specific discomfort because nothing else could break you open to the profound truth of your intrinsic value. And that restless agitation that never lets you settle, that's not a flaw in your system either. It's a deliberately chosen force of transformation. The constant dissatisfaction with what is, the inability to find peace in stillness, the ceaseless drive for more, these are the exact pressures needed to crack open your understanding of true fulfillment. So let's explore how these dynamics play out in different areas of your life, not as burdens to bear, but as the very forces that will reveal your greatest strengths. In the first house, the Taurus moon naturally has a powerful presence. Your being holds a grounded dignity that doesn't need to shout, it simply is. But when you struggle with feeling inadequate, with feeling like you don't deserve to take up space or be fully present, that natural power can feel muted. You might find yourself apologizing for simply existing, shrinking to make others comfortable. That deep-seated belief that you're somehow too much or not enough might follow you wherever you go. The restlessness that comes with this lesson might not just be about physical action either. It could be the nagging feeling that your presence isn't enough, that you need to constantly prove yourself. Stillness might feel uncomfortable, like an unfilled space that demands to be filled with constant movement or doing. Yet, it's in these struggles that your greatest strength is revealed. When you can no longer shrink yourself, when you stop holding back, that's when your real power emerges. Effortlessly, like a flame that's finally been allowed to burn brightly. In the second house, the Taurus moon's understanding of value can be profound. You see worth in things, real, tangible worth, and have a natural ability to create abundance. But when you find yourself trapped in a mindset of scarcity, even when resources are plentiful, your mind might race with fears of never having enough. It might feel as if security is always just beyond your reach, no matter how much you accumulate. When your relationship to worth becomes constrictive, you might feel guilty about receiving, always wondering if you're truly deserving of what you have. Whether it's money, love, or attention, it could feel like you're holding something that doesn't belong to you. But here's where the transformation happens. When you let go of the constant cycle of having and not having, of holding tightly to things that don't truly bring security, that's when you unlock the deeper understanding of abundance. You realize that real security doesn't come from what you have. It comes from knowing that you are enough, simply as you are. In the third house, the Taurus Moon's wisdom can be expressed through communication, especially when you give form to abstract thoughts. You might naturally turn ideas into tangible, understandable concepts, making them accessible to others. But sometimes there's this feeling of silence. Words might feel scarce, thoughts get stuck before they can take shape, or you might find yourself holding back when you want to speak your truth. That voice that should flow naturally might feel distant, as if it's been locked behind an invisible barrier. You might also find yourself getting caught in the tension between saying too much or saying too little, moving from one extreme to the other without ever finding that balanced rhythm. But it's precisely in this push and pull that your authentic voice is born. When you push past the silence, when the need to speak becomes stronger than the fear of being wrong, that's when your true expression finds its form. When it comes to the fourth house, your ability to create sanctuary is extraordinary. Not only can you build stable, safe environments, but you also have an innate talent for making those around you feel comfortable, welcome, at ease. But sometimes your own sense of home can feel unstable. It might seem like no matter how much you try to create security, whether it's moving houses, rearranging your space, or looking for the right environment, something is always missing. Perhaps there's a sense of not truly belonging, even in your own space. The belief that you need to earn your right to rest, to feel grounded, might infiltrate your life, making it hard to fully claim your space. But here's the wisdom. When you stop seeking home in external things or places, when the exhaustion of constant searching finally overwhelms you, that's when you find that the ground you've been looking for is always within you. You are your own sanctuary. The true meaning of home emerges not in the walls around you, but in the steadiness you cultivate within yourself. In the fifth house, your Taurus Moon is a natural creator. You can turn raw materials, experiences, feelings, even challenges into something beautiful. But sometimes pleasure and creativity can feel like something distant or elusive. You might find yourself rationing joy, holding back from fully enjoying life or expressing yourself. Creative blocks might emerge with you second-guessing your every move, questioning whether your expression is too simple or too indulgent. This house is particularly exposed to shame's influence. You might catch yourself shrinking from simple pleasures, tensing up when food tastes too good, pulling back from laughter that feels too loud, monitoring how much you enjoy a massage or a warm bath. Your body knows how to delight in existence, but there's this constant internal voice saying you're greedy, crude, too earthy in your enjoyments. Even alone, you can find yourself policing your pleasure, as if someone might catch you feeling too good, wanting too much, being too alive. Yet, it's in this struggle that the true gift of pleasure is revealed. When you let go of the judgment, when you embrace the right to enjoy life without hesitation, that's when you experience pure delight, creativity flowing freely, joy in its most natural form. Through the sixth house, the Taurus Moon can find profound meaning in the mundane. Your pure nature is to understand that consistency and routine, when respected, lead to mastery. But if the moon is afflicted here, the pressure to keep doing, keep producing, can cause you to neglect your own needs. Rest might feel like a luxury, and self-care might seem like an afterthought. Perhaps you've learned to equate worth with doing, constantly pushing yourself to be productive and prove your value through work. You might ignore the whispers of your body telling you it's time to slow down, but when you finally release the need to prove yourself through endless doing, when you allow yourself the grace to rest, that's when you find true efficiency. You realize that doing from a place of balance is where your greatest productivity and fulfillment lies. In the seventh house, your Taurus Moon brings a deep need for security in relationships. You're someone who can create lasting, meaningful bonds with others. But when intimacy feels threatened, when you fear that closeness might require you to lose yourself, it can lead to extremes. You might hold back, keeping your love and affection to yourself, or you might overgive, trying to prove your worth through constant giving. The dance between independence and intimacy might feel unstable, always swinging between extremes. But it's in this tension that true partnership is forged. When the fear of vulnerability becomes less than the desire for true connection, that's when real partnership, based on mutual respect and genuine affection, can flourish. In the 8th house, the Taurus Moon delves into deep, transformative waters. You naturally understand the dance between giving and receiving, whether it's in emotional, physical, or financial exchange. But with afflictions, there's a reluctance to surrender fully to this flow. The fear of losing yourself or being controlled might cause you to withhold, keeping your power tight, protecting yourself from any form of intimacy or deep connection. When you finally let go, when you allow yourself to trust and fully merge with others, that's when you experience the depth of true transformation. The power you've been holding onto is never lost. It is only deepened through surrender. In the 9th house, the Taurus Moon has a unique ability to ground wisdom into something practical and real. You make abstract ideas accessible, turning complex concepts into tangible truths. But when something feels off in this area, it can lead to a sense of spiritual restlessness. Despite all the searching, there's a feeling that true wisdom always seems just out of reach. Your pursuit of knowledge might become a constant cycle of seeking without fulfillment. You might find yourself doubting the value of your intuitive understanding, as if it's somehow inferior to abstract philosophy or higher teachings. This can create a disconnect between your body's natural wisdom and the ideals you might be chasing. But it's through this hunger for truth, this feeling of spiritual deprivation, that you awaken to a deeper realization. True wisdom isn't something you need to chase. It's already within you. When you stop seeking validation from external sources and trust your own inner knowing, that's when genuine understanding blossoms. Realizing that the simple, grounded truths you've always carried are just as sacred as any lofty ideal. In the 10th house, the Taurus Moon has a natural gift for creating structures that stand the test of time. You understand how to build, whether it's a career, a family, or a legacy. But when there's tension in this area, it can feel like your achievements aren't enough. You might downplay your successes or feel that you need to do more to be truly recognized. There could be a fear that your natural way of creating isn't worthy of attention, that your efforts are somehow less than others. This could manifest as a constant drive to prove your worth, to measure up against some external standard of success. You might become overly critical of your own path, seeing it as incomplete or insufficient, no matter how much you've achieved. Yet it's in this very struggle with visibility that you come into your own power. When you stop hiding your accomplishments and embrace the recognition that is rightfully yours, that's when you step into true authority. You realize that the way you build and create is worthy of celebration, not because of external validation, but because it is an authentic expression of who you are. In the 11th house, the Taurus Moon finds itself navigating the complexities of community and collective contribution. At your best, you naturally understand how to weave lasting connections, building networks of support and solidarity. But when your relationship with belonging becomes strained, you might hold back your gifts, fearing that offering too much of yourself will deplete you. There might be a tendency to either pull away from the group or overextend in an attempt to prove your worth. You could struggle with the balance between individuality and being part of something greater, unsure of how to contribute without losing your own sense of self. Perhaps you've learned to play small, believing that your unique voice doesn't belong in the larger conversation. However, it's in this very dance between isolation and connection that you unlock your truest contribution. When you stop measuring your worth by others' standards and instead trust that your unique perspective is valuable, that's when you find your true place within the collective and discover that belonging doesn't mean conforming, it means offering your authentic self to a cause larger than yourself. Finally, in the 12th house, the Taurus Moon reveals its most profound expression of embodiment and spirituality. You have an innate understanding of how to ground spiritual experiences in the physical world. But when you struggle with this placement, it can feel like your connection to the divine is always just out of reach. There might be a sense of spiritual deprivation, like grace itself is being withheld from you, as though your need for tangible, grounded connection somehow disqualifies you from higher truths. You may find yourself oscillating between two extremes, either rejecting the mystical in favor of practicality or losing yourself so fully in the spiritual realm that you feel disconnected from your body and your reality. This can lead to a sense of spiritual longing without fulfillment, an endless chase for peace that remains just beyond your grasp. But it is here, in the tension between form and formlessness, that your deepest awakening takes place. When you stop seeing the physical world as an obstacle to spiritual experience and start seeing it as a vital part of your sacred path, that's when true spiritual alignment emerges. You realize that the divine isn't something separate from your body. It's already here, manifesting in every sensation, in every grounded moment. As we've journeyed through these 12 domains of experience, you might recognize your own patterns of initiation. Perhaps you see how starvation in one house is teaching you abundance in another, how shame in certain areas is actually awakening your deepest gifts in others, how even the most uncomfortable agitation is steering you toward your most authentic expression. These patterns we've explored aren't random afflictions. They're sophisticated catalysts your soul chose for profound transformation. Whether you're experiencing the grip of starvation, the weight of shame, or the restlessness of agitation, know that each challenge is perfectly designed to reveal your moon's extraordinary gifts. I see this every day in my practice, how these precise pressures eventually crack open to reveal profound strength, how the very experiences that feel like curses become doorways to rare forms of mastery that few others achieve. If you feel called to explore these patterns more deeply, to understand exactly how your specific chart configurations are working to unlock your potential, I'm here to guide you through this territory. Whether through focused single sessions where we decode your unique lunar blueprint, or through extended 3- and 6-month containers where we work systematically to unlock your moon's full power, there's a path here that can support your journey. Just know that this work requires courage to face these patterns directly, to understand how they're actually serving your evolution. But for those ready to engage with these challenges as initiations rather than obstacles, the transformation can be profound. Until we meet again, remember, your struggles aren't punishments. They're precisely crafted invitations to embody a power that's already yours. Thank you for watching, subscribing, and sharing. This is Ayla, signing off.